Marcelo Bielsa, the man-marking madness. Marcelo Bielsa didn't believe in zones. He believed in people. Wherever your assigned opponent went, you followed, even if it meant leaving your position, abandoning your shape, and sprinting across the pitch like you were tracking a criminal, not a winger. Under Bielsa at Leeds, Athletic Bilbao, or Marseille, the pitch stopped looking like a tactical map and started looking like a chaotic chase scene. Defenders followed strikers into midfield. Midfielders followed fullbacks into the corner flag. Wingers ended up marking center backs. And goalkeepers? They occasionally looked like sheriffs trying to restore order to a lawless town. The magic was that it created total pressure. The disaster was that one dribble could collapse the entire team like a house of cards. Opponents who escaped their markers suddenly had acres of space because the entire defensive line had been dragged into a different postcode. Bielsa trusted effort over safety, chaos over structure, and sometimes madness over reason. It was beautiful. It was risky. It was Bielsa. Pep Guardiola, the inverted fullback revolution. Pep Guardiola didn't just change fullbacks, he deleted their job description. Instead of hugging the line and overlapping, he pulled them into midfield, making the shape morph from a 4-3-3 into something like a 3-2-5, a 2-3-5, or an abstract geometric experiment. At Bayern Munich and Manchester City, players like Philipp Lahm, David Alaba, Alexander Zinchenko, and Joao Cancelo suddenly became midfielders in possession, doubling as defensive midfielders while still being fullbacks on paper. They drifted into the center, controlled tempo, created overloads, and became Pep's answer to every tactical question. Opponents didn't know who to press, where to mark, or what dimension they had accidentally stepped into. Press the wingers, the fullbacks appeared inside. Press the midfield, Pep turned the back line into a diamond. Press everything? Congratulations, now you're outnumbered again. It neutralized counterattacks, created midfield overloads, and turned build-up into a puzzle only Pep's teams could solve. The irony? Pep invented it to fix defensive vulnerability, and ended up reinventing global football instead. Antonio Conte, the wingback army. Antonio Conte took a forgotten tactic and turned it into a championship weapon. His wingbacks at Juventus, Chelsea, and Inter weren't defenders or midfielders. They were both and neither at the same time. By using a back three that transformed into a front five in attack, Conte created constant width, overlapping waves, and endless running. Victor Moses went from a struggling winger to a title-winning machine. At Inter, Achraf Hakimi and Ivan Perisic became unstoppable channels of pressure, destroying entire flanks by themselves. Conte's teams were simultaneously defensive fortresses and attacking machines. The shape shifted like an accordion, compact when defending, stretched and explosive when attacking. Wingbacks were supposed to be outdated. Conte made them terrifying. Jorge Sampaoli, all gas, no brakes. Jorge Sampaoli never believed in balance. His philosophy was simple: attack at full speed, then attack harder. At Chile, Sevilla, and Argentina, his teams pressed with such intensity that the midfield practically vanished under the chaos. Center backs stepped higher than midfielders. Fullbacks overlapped like wingers. Wingers defended the penalty area. Everyone sprinted everywhere all the time. When it worked, the opposition drowned under pressure, coughing up possession like they were trapped in a whirlpool. When it failed, Sampaoli's teams conceded goals that looked like defensive comedy sketches. He built a system fueled by bravery or madness, depending on which half you watched. There were no breaks, only acceleration. Thomas Tuchel, the half-space obsession. Thomas Tuchel doesn't just use zones, he worships them. The half space, that vertical channel between the wing and the center, is where he builds everything. At Borussia Dortmund, PSG, and Chelsea, Tuchel placed creators, wingbacks, strikers, and midfielders into these corridors to attack in synchronized patterns. From the outside, it looks like players standing around in slightly strange positions, but the effect is brutal. Triangles, passing lanes, and overloads that suffocate opponents. Tuchel plays football like he's solving a puzzle no one else can see. By controlling the half spaces, he turns matches into strategic battles where his team always has the numerical advantage. It's chess disguised as football, and Tuchel's players are the pieces moving in invisible grids. Jose Mourinho, parking the bus and winning anyway. Jose Mourinho made defensive misery into a winning tactic. His low block is so deep that players sometimes defend inside the box for entire halves. Opponents keep the ball, Mourinho keeps the scoreboard. Inter Milan's 2010 Champions League semi-final against Barcelona is the greatest example. 10 men, no possession, every player defending like their life depended on it. Barcelona played football, Mourinho played survival. Most coaches fear conceding chances. Mourinho fears losing control. So he eliminates risk completely and waits for one mistake, one counterattack, one moment. It looks ugly, it feels cynical, and yet it wins trophies. Lots of them. Johan Cruyff, total football, total freedom. Johan Cruyff didn't believe in fixed positions. His system allowed players to switch roles fluidly, defenders stepping into midfield, wingers drifting inside, midfielders joining the attack. At Barcelona and with the Netherlands, the team's shape constantly morphed. What looked chaotic was actually synchronized intelligence. Players moved by reading each other, not by following rigid instructions. Total football made the sport liquid, unpredictable, expressive, and endlessly creative. It was weird because it broke every convention. It was brilliant because it built the foundation for modern football. Without Cruyff, there is no Guardiola, no Xavi, no tiki-taka. Diego Simeone, suffer ball. Diego Simeone treats football like trench warfare. His teams don't just defend, they absorb pressure until the opponent mentally collapses. Atletico Madrid under Simeone play with extreme compactness. 2 lines of 4 squeezed so tight you couldn't fit a postcard between them. Every duel is a battle. Every counterattack is a knife strike. Opponents lose their patience long before Atletico lose their shape. Simeone's football doesn't try to outplay you, it tries to break you. Other teams play football. Simeone's teams survive football, and that's their readest strength. Ralf Rangnick, the 8-second rule. Ralf Rangnick innovated by simplifying everything. Lose the ball, win it back within 8 seconds. Win the ball, shoot within 10. This gegenpressing revolution reshaped German football. At Hoffenheim, Leipzig, and across the Red Bull network, Rangnick's teams pressed with machine-like coordination. Everything was vertical, rapid, aggressive. Passes weren't meant to be beautiful, just effective. Opponents were suffocated from the first whistle. It looked chaotic, but the timing was precise. This was football as a coordinated attack, not a flow of possession. It wasn't art, it was organized violence. Louis van Gaal, systems over players. Louis van Gaal cares about principles more than positions. If the system demands it, he will play anyone anywhere, as long as they follow his spatial rules. In the 2014 World Cup, he used wingers as wingbacks, midfielders as defenders, and defenders as playmakers. Then he made the wildest substitution of the tournament, swapping his goalkeeper in the 120th minute specifically for the penalty shootout. It worked, because in Van Gaal's world, the system is king. Players are chess pieces, and he moves them boldly, stubbornly, brilliantly. Zdeněk Zeman, the beautiful, suicidal 4-3-3. Zdeněk Zeman's football is fitness, fire, and forward runs. His teams attack with more players than any sane coach would allow. At Foggia, Roma, and Lazio, Zeman ball meant fast wing play, relentless pressing, and defensive lines positioned near midfield. His training sessions were infamous, military-style running mixed with tactical drills. The matches were 4-3, 5-2, 5-4. Pure chaos, pure entertainment. Opponents loved playing him because it guaranteed insanity. Fans loved watching it because it guaranteed goals. Zeman never cared about risk, he cared about joy. Fernando Diniz, Brazilian free jazz. Fernando Diniz rejects rigid tactics completely. His relationism is built on movement, rhythm, combinations, and intuition. Players drift, exchange positions freely, and improvise based on chemistry instead of patterns. At Fluminense, this created football that looked emotional, artistic, almost musical. Positions blurred, passing triangles multiplied, and sequences flowed like street football scaled to the professional level. It broke every European tactical rule, and that's exactly why it worked. Diniz ball is not a formation, it's a feeling. Football tactics don't evolve in straight lines. They leap, twist, crash, and reinvent themselves through the bold ideas of strange, brilliant minds. And sometimes the weirdest tactics redefine the entire sport. Because in football, genius and madness are never far apart. They usually sit on the same touchline.